All right, teachers, we're going to need your help with this one. 1-855-BERT Show. And if you're having a problem somewhere in your life and you want us to throw it out to Bert Show fam, hit us up at thebertshow.com. But her son's upset because the teacher won't call him by his name.
Hey, Bert Show. I need your advice on a situation involving my son that has my whole family split. My son started second grade a couple weeks ago, and he's already frustrated by his teacher. He's not a fan of her going into the school year, but we try to tell him give her a chance. After a few days, he came home telling me that his teacher is so rude. I asked him what he means by that, and he told me that his teacher refuses to call him Toby and instead prefers to use his full name, Tobias. Everyone in his life, including us, calls him Toby, so that's what he is used to, and that's what he prefers. His teacher refuses to call any of the kids by their shortened names, so it's not just him. I agree with my son, and I would hate to be called by my full name. And I would feel so disrespected if I had to corrected a boss or a coworker to use my shortened name, which my son has a couple times, but they refused. I have not contacted the teacher to get her side of everything, but my husband thinks she's in the right to call the kids by their given names in the classroom and doesn't think that it's disrespectful to the kids. What are your thoughts on this? And should I reach out to the teacher? It's only been a couple weeks of school, and I don't want the frustration to build. Thanks for any help you can provide.
I can't figure out what would be a good reason for not doing that. Like, my birth name is Herbert.
Yeah.
It's not much better than Bert, but I've always been called Bert. But if my teacher refused to call me Bert and was just calling me Herbert, I'd go to my parents and go, can you help me out here?
Yeah.
Tommy?
It happened to me for an entire year. Second grade, Mrs. Pointer. I hate that teacher to this day. If she's dead, I hope she's burning.
Damn.
Tommy!
What's the matter with you, man?
No. Second grade, just like Bert was saying, you know how at the beginning of the school year, they don't know any students. They call every single name, and you say present. Right. Or if they say Herbert, you raise your hand, and you say, I like to be called Bert.
Right.
Well, she said, William. My name's William Thomas Owen. She goes, William. I stood up. I said, I like to be called Tommy. She said, sit down, William.
Oh, damn.
And called me William the entire year.
And you didn't go back and say your parents didn't go to school?
They didn't care.
Yeah, right. Back in those days, man, teacher was always right.
They're like, shut up and sit down. William.
Well, obviously it stuck with them. Yeah. I think it's important for kids to have some say. And I that's what always drives me nuts when people are like, give your uncle a hug, and the kid's like, I don't want to.
Right.
And then they're like, do it. I'm like, I've been in that situation so many times, and it was so like humiliating to me and weird to me that I had no control over my body, that I had to hug whoever my parents told me to. And then you go to school and you do get picked on for your given name sometimes. Like Davina rhymes with so many body parts and things, and kids can make so many things happen with Davina, and then substitute teachers would say it Divina. Does that help you?
Vagina? Was that it?
They make so many amazing. Yes, I got called Vagina. I got called all kinds of things because kids are so creative. So it was so frustrating.
Creative
I was like,
and cruel.
Yes, I was like, please. And then when you're like, I prefer to be called this, and the teacher's like, sit down, Davina. Then they're like, ooh, she hates that. That bugs her. So it like
at least she didn't say sit down, Vagina.
Yeah, that's good. But I'm
remi-
just saying, it's important for kids to be able to make decisions about what
Yeah.
they want to be called, who they can hug. All of that stuff is important.
That reminds me, I got to go back to my hometown and find her grave. I got to write my name.
Why you gotta pee on it?
William.
I have a Jimmy. His given name is James. And if, he's going to second grade and he's like, no, everybody in my life calls me Jimmy. And she's like, no, sit down, James. No, I'm going to school and I'm having a conversation with the teacher. And I'm like,
Yeah.
he's called Jimmy.
Right.
That's his name.
Hey, Stacy, good morning. You're part of the Bert Show.
Hey, how are you?
Fantastic. Thank you. What's up?
No, just listening to this, it's crazy. I'm not understanding why this teacher can't call the child by his name. I'm just starting my 25th year of teaching, and I have had kids with the most amazing names you've ever heard. And why let this be the hill to die on with a kid? I mean, his name is Toby. That's what all the people who love him call him. And a lot of times when kids want you to call them something other than what's written on their, as a lot of my kids call it, their government name, what's written on their permanent record, That's an honor. I mean, teachers should be honored that they want to be called by what everybody that loves them calls them. And so I don't understand what her deal is. If I was that mom, I would definitely be going in and saying, what's the beef with Toby?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. I mean, you've been teaching for 26 years, so what would be a reason that a teacher would even give?
Well, a lot of times it's because kids come up with crazy things too. Not just, I want to shorten my name. But, I mean, they'll come up, I had a kid one time who wanted to be called Peanut Butter and Jelly. He was very serious about it. Yeah, I was like, very serious. A lot of times, too, that stuff, go with it. And they get tired of it. It's like, this is my thing for the next couple weeks. And then why are you calling me that? They'll end up asking you that. Why are you calling me that? That's not, I don't want to be called that anymore.
Right. I should have gone with Thor. I just wanted to be called
Thor. Times have definitely changed. I had a teacher back in the day that I felt like she did it to establish dominance. She just called you whatever's on that sheet, regardless of whatever you wanted to call. But she should definitely go in there and talk to the teacher.
As a kid, were you called Maurice, Reese, or Mo?
They wouldn't call me Mo. They would always call me Maurice. For some reason, it was like, I'm not going to call you Mo because your name is Maurice.
Quentin, good morning. You're on the Bert Show.
Hey, guys. So I think it's definitely strange that the teacher won't call the student Toby. It's not like it's anything bad. It's no big deal. But, no, if I was that parent, I would definitely be calling. And it's really like shame on that teacher, too. I mean, you have so many other things to worry about right now, especially considering COVID and everything else. Like, just call the kid Toby and move on with your life. Get it together.
I know, right?
The Bert Show.